The Fans is the #1 sponsor in battle rap. My name is Frank White, and I probably contributed to some of your favorite battles. I mean, in the last 4 years, I donated $222,000 to battle rap for the culture. Check out We the Fans Global on Instagram for the full catalog of battles I sponsor. And follow We the Fans Global on YouTube to watch full battle breakdowns from a sponsor's perspective and a recommendation for what battles should be booked next. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe and keep stepping into your greatness. We the Fans is for the culture.
We are here with the GOAT himself, the Gun Show. Drugz, how you feeling?
I feel good, man. How you feel? How you doing? How's everything?
I'm well. God bless you and the family. Happy New Year. Congratulations on coming back to battle rap. I'm going to not waste your time. We're going to get right into these battles. You ready?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I want to talk to you about you versus Luc Castro. I want to tell you my favorite bars, and then I'm going to ask you what you remember from the battle and your thoughts. So Drugz versus Luc Castro. How you going to handle a nigga that's so electrifying, rubber grip, right on cast, get well soon? Take my word for it, bitch, like quantum physics. If that if that's all you brought to the table today, I wish you and that potluck. Put a potato next to a crab and make a seafood broil, and now it's shells next to the mussels. Crazy. Best way to test your mic. Niggas acting like it won't happen till I bend the curb on a ruler like a protractor. You wouldn't have this performance if Drugz ain't give you these enhancements. You were wilding on Luc Castro. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. I guess that's just a rare sighting of what happens when I'm fully prepared for a battle. Me and Luc Castro was supposed to battle at Born Legacy in Seattle, Washington. I actually ended up the birth of my child, ended up having a baby. So I wasn't able to make it. So then I didn't get a URL booking for maybe about 7, 8 months for real. I felt kind of overlooked with the whole Chris Brown situation, being as though me and Castro was already booked. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of wanted to make a statement. Yeah, he was, and then me and him is cool. So of course he's talking his shit along the way too. So that didn't help that didn't help his case. So just in that situation, that didn't help his case. So
Understood. Well, you was wildin', brother. The next battle I want to talk to you about is Drugz versus Yoshi G. Amazing. I'm gonna quote some of my favorite bars from this, and then we're gonna get to it. I do not believe in putting hands on women. I shoot bitches. All the news you send you should be used to attachments on the text. Crazy. How that pussy top tier, but your baby daddy in the crucible. Nasty. You really think your mother gave up a car to watch you lead your daughter in the wrong direction? I'm not here for battle. I'm here to make sure my daughter don't become you. Oh my God. And then that heartfelt third. Brother, what was going on? Why did Yoshi get that version of Drugz?
um, well, honestly, I just felt she was super dangerous. Honestly, she kind of scared me more than a lot of guys in the tournament. If you watch the selecting of the matches, mm, I kept saying, "Oh, you gonna pick Yoshi? You gonna pick Yoshi?" As we were on a live, I kept on trolling guys like, "Oh, you about to pick Yoshi? You about to pick Yoshi?" And I end up picking Yoshi. So, it's funny. The funny is it was I ended up picking her. So, I just felt she was super dangerous. I was rooting for her and Sirius Jones matchup. 5 bars. You know,
Of
10
course.
bars. I thought that was. I thought they was going. Put a little rigmarole so you get that, but they put a rigmarole on me. um. So that's really what it was. I just thought she was dangerous. It's just a hard person to prepare for. So
Okay. Well, you did.
you don't want to. You don't want to repeat yourself. Thought about this. Like I realized that nobody like had actually like dove into it and attacked it for real. Because it's so in your face. It's almost like you don't say nothing about it. It was kind of strange. As I watched the battles, I realized nobody like attacked it, and I still wonder to this day if people get the scheme that I put in. I never really do schemes, but I had a scheme in the second, I think, with all the URL events. And I still to this day don't know if people still kind of caught what I was doing right there. Um, with that line. I forget how it went, but I know I ended it with the, you know, universe URL's anniversary card to be the only one you ever see. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, like she had my mind. She had my mind working.
I respect it, man, and I appreciate you saying that Yoshi's fire like that. That moved you to do that. That's super
Yeah.
dope.
Oh,
The
yeah,
next that I want to
definitely.
talk about is Drugz versus Franchise. Good God, crazy battle. These are some of my favorite bars. Is this Canadian get rolled up in a maple leaf? He had high hopes for a big return. Then he got audited. No matter how you dress it up, it's still the same
I
franchise.
said that.
Yeah, it's only one good thing about being shot in Canada: free healthcare. Take off a piece of franchise. I'm a stockholder. Russell Westbrook, it don't matter where I'm at. Y'all know I'm a fuck up a franchise. The niggas with the Toys R Us, and that's where you fail, franchise. You were wilding against franchise. What motivated
Yeah.
that?
I had always wanted to battle franchise for years and years and years. Um, I mean, you could kind of go back, like if you type in drugs franchise, like on YouTube, you could kind of see like I just always felt like it was high energy. I always felt like when he first came out the gate, no lacking, clone clapping. Like I just thought that was, I just thought that rapid fire, no matter what people thought about him, he just stuck to his guns literally and just was rapid fire punching. He was just doing his thing. I mean, like I just think franchise was fire. I think like he's like one of them, like Pooh Shiesty got a line in that FDO joint that just came out. And it was talking about like, oh, like you need to get up, man, shut your bitch ass, get the fuck up off my face. Like I feel like that's how franchise feel when he rap. Like, look, I'm shooting these guns. Like I ain't trying to hear what you talking about. Like I ain't doing nothing else. So I just thought that was a fire. I thought at that moment it was a really good. It wasn't a style clash. It was like the same style essentially clashing. Um, I do hate watching that battle though.
What?
I do hate watching. So I guess when I come back, as I take time to look at everything, and I don't know if people have noticed a difference in the way that I'm rapping now. It's not a total difference, but I will say delivery around that time. I guess watching it now, I just wasn't feeling it. It was a little. I was just trying to figure out how to do the main stage thing. Has always been an issue for me. Like even when I battled Suge, I didn't know. You know what I mean? Just trying to figure it out. So I wasn't that impressed with my delivery on a lot of that on a lot of those bars. Just it around that era in total. Like now that I look back, I could kind of see what the fans were saying a little bit delivery wise. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's why.
Understood.
Not but I didn't do well at anything.
Understood. Well,
But my third is some of my favorite shit I ever did though. The when you have time to do gangster shit. But I had pretty much always knew I was going to do that to him from years and years and years and years ago. Like I had pretty much had that. Not like I never wrote it, but I mean I didn't have to write it because it was like what else write it. So yeah, I had always wanted to say I didn't have the concept of when did you have time to be gangster shit, but it's just the whole thing of him playing at such a high level, which he's really super talented, like seriously. And I just always remember how like just it takes a lot. You know what I mean? So and of course it's battle rap, so I'm not saying what he does or doesn't do in real life, but for the point of painting a picture, I just feel like it's kind of like you're an Olympian, literally.
Yeah.
Like I think he's definitely probably battle rap's only Olympian. You know what I'm saying? Like he's literally an Olympian. Like you feel what I'm saying? Like the nigga's an Olympian, bro. Like we gotta kind of put some respect. The nigga is an Olympian. Like that's a little different, man. Like everybody can't say that nigga was in the Olympics, bro. Like that's different.
That's a All right. So the next battle I want to talk to you about, I thought this was one of your peaks is Drugz versus Mike P. I love this battle. The aesthetics, just everything beyond just the bars. I love the aesthetics of the battle, the energy, the competitiveness, the mutual respect is there. But my favorite bars you have for Mike, nobody react when I hit Mike. Is this thing on in the car passing gas like flies up chilling? 2 rounds over the net like a
Terrible.
double win. I'm gonna be on mic all night.
In the car passing gas like flatulence may be single-handedly the worst line I ever wrote. That is
It
terrible.
was funny as hell.
It wasn't meant to be funny. It was meant to be fire. It was terrible. People was laughing, and I'm like, why they laughing? People was laughing. I ain't know why, and I'm like, why they laughing? Shit's ass. Get that shit out of here. Terrible. Never again. I can't believe niggas okay. Like whoever I ran that by and they okay, then like we should fight. In the car passing gas like flatulence.
That was funny as hell. All right. I'm gonna be on mic all night. I'm your host for this evening. Fuck the police. A whole clip full of cop killers. Crazy. I put a big round in front of mic, a pop filter. If I boom sticks, they won't be able to hold mic up. How does it feel knowing you got all those characters and still got stuck with a random selection? What you know about having a good dad, but not knowing until you're 22 because your mom's bitter? Yo, you was wilding against Mike P. Talk to me about that battle and what you remember.
Just probably like one of my first names. Definitely was just trying to figure it out still. You know what I mean? Surf got this line. I think it's in the Funk Flex freestyle. He said we was making big boy moves while learning how. And just trying to figure out how to deal with an artist at that level. That angles, that raps, that punches on a stage, you know. Thank God it was in the DMV, so I had a little bit of leverage on that. And just excited to stand in front of Mike P. Like, I think I may be one of the few people in battle rap that I'm actually super excited to hear what you come up with to me. Like, I was really excited to hear what Lil Spring could come up with. 8 sliders on drugs like Harold and Kumar. They done finally got drugs out the king. Like I'm like, oh yeah, like I wonder what he's gonna say. So that's I was definitely interested to hear what Mike had to say. Um I wanted to make sure I had something to say back at the end of the day. So yeah. I think that might be where I differ a little bit. Like I'm like genuinely I want to know like I'm excited to hear like how creative people are. Um
And you're actively listening to your opponent while they rapping at you.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Sometimes I might be on bullshit. Everything might be asked to me that they're fuck you. You know what I mean? But for the most part, yeah, like you'll definitely one thing about me, if I like a bar, you definitely see me shake my head and say I like that. So
That's real. That's super real. Another battle that is not talked about enough, and maybe it's because it's a one rounder. I don't know, but you whooped on Fonz. Whooped.
yeah.
I went back and rewatched this battle. I was like, good God. Some of my favorite bars. Y'all see me on the road running, and y'all trying to stop me by putting a fake Av in front of me. I appeared Fonz, attacked the court. Fuck the landlord. These gonna live rent free in his head. I knew as soon as I saw the Fonz wasn't gonna be no happy days. You should bring me to cabin life. My whole foundation built off trees. After all landlords, yo, that's the least that you can do. Give Fonz shells. It's an Easter egg hunt. Ain't no shortcuts to shine. You can't take the easy route. Crazy. Y'all letting Don Cheadle be the reason I pull up with a war machine. Yo, crazy. In a one rounder.
Yeah, that was it. That was good. So for me, I'm not gonna say who called, but I remember receiving a phone call. So the story behind that, of course, is you hear with the bar I was in there. I think I had 2 pretty underrated bars in there. I think one of them was the Baby Shark bar. When I was, people always say, he asked son or whatever. So I had the baby shark. That you got the baby attention, you and your daddy shark. I thought that was fire. I also thought he called himself the landlord, and I was like, you want to fight over the land when you the one on the property line. I thought that was crazy. But anybody really say nothing. But I think for me, I had Av at first, so I was already on the wavelength of like trying to drop bombs because it's Av at the end of the day. And then at that time, Fonz was pretty hot, and no disrespect, but I felt like they replaced be with the same nigga kind of like it's like all right, the mission kind of the same because he's the same type of puncher. He's the same, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the same mission and like the game plan didn't change, just the person did because the styles were so similar. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's real.
so and I remember receiving a phone call. I guess Fonz was outside the venue, like I got rapping his round. I remember receiving a phone call from somebody, not telling me his lines or nothing like that, but I remember uh, because unbeknownst, of course, I had wrote all that Fonz material basically the night before. So I was up that morning, like capping it off, like finishing the Don Cheeto line War Machine that was written that morning. You know what I'm saying? Like finishing up the round. And
Crazy.
I remember I got a phone call and I remember they was like, yo, make sure like you locked in on your round and you good to go because Fonz is letting niggas hear his raps and niggas are jumping, screaming, running around the parking lot, And I was like, damn, for real? And they like, yeah, man, like I don't know what he's saying, but they was like these niggas acting like he's rapping the best shit ever. And I was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? So I remember going into the battle like thinking like, yo, he probably box me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I remember that was around the time I had a good momentum, and I remember I had a little boost of confidence because remember those battles were banned. Most of the crowd did not know who was battling. So I remember they cut the lights, and I remember somebody came up to Smack and whispered in his ear like Drugz and Fonz is next. And a couple of fans that were next to him heard it.
Mhm.
And I remember they got real excited. And I'm just like, man, this isn't a battle. Like, had this battle been announced, I would have lost every poll. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Had this battle been announced.
Yep.
And I remember, uh, I think it might even been Beasley. I think Beasley came and told Smack like, yeah, announce Drugz and Fonz next. That's the next battle. Boom. And I think a couple of fans heard. And I remember distinctly hearing like 3 fans like, I got Drugz, I got Drugz. And I'm like, what? You got me? It was like it was a boost of confidence because all right, you know what? I got me too. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck this nigga. But of course the bars was written at that point. It was gonna be whatever it was gonna be. But just a little backstory. I did have Av at first, on 5 days, and that battle was 5 and it was 5 days notice. So I got Av and I started writing a couple things for Av, and then it changed. So when it changed, I kind of had to reset and get back. So I remember when I arrived, I was still finishing out my rap and stuff like that. So
That's crazy. That's crazy. Speaking of short prep, we got to get into the other side of all of this. What is the shortest amount of time it's ever taken you to prep for a battle?
I wrote all 3 of the prep rounds on the plane on the way there.
What is wrong with you? How do you do that? What is this a superpower? Like, how do you do that?
Well, I was on drugs.
Hey,
I was on drugs.
that's not the
So
answer. That's not the answer.
I was on Adderall. I had that. So long story short, normally you would get there the day before
Mhm.
and all that, but my baby shower was the day before, and everybody knows I like to, write the night before, but it was just too hectic. End up getting a little drunk. Like it's no way that I'm writing no raps tonight. I
Mhm.
remember I just woke up really, really early the day of the battle, and I remember telling my baby mother like, "Man, I ain't going."
Damn.
I said, "I ain't going." I said, "I can't." I said, "It's impossible. There's no way." I says, "I can't do it." I said, I'm like, "You done it this time, Drugs, right?" You know what I'm saying with this late prep shit. And then she was like, and I will never forget. I'm not gonna say what battle rapper gave it to me because A-Verb just tweaked out the other day, so I ain't gonna say too much on here. But
Yo.
I remember I found a pill. I found an Adderall. I found an Adderall. As I was like looking for something to roll up or something, and like that, like the Adderall like dropped on the carpet. I was like, and I like keep in mind like it's like 5 or 6 in the morning, and I gotta get. It's like 5 or 6 in the morning. I gotta get on the plane. I'm mentally checked out of the battle. Like I've already said, I'm gonna call Beasley and them in a little bit, and just tell them like, because I've never done that. So I'm like, I was like, I've never done that. I'm like, I get one at least. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like me out of all people, I'm like the most reliable. Y'all done called me on 24 hours notice to do a battle. So at least give me this one time courtesy to, you know what I'm saying, back out of this one. Cause I just took on a little bit more than I thought I could. So
Yeah.
what ended up happening, yeah, that's just what it was. I found the Adderall and I remember I said, if I can come up with, I remember I said, if I come up with 5 haymakers, then I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna write it. So the original plan was to write 2 rounds and then fake choke in the 3rd round. It's like, oh man, fuck, damn, calm. I was gonna do that.
Mhm.
And then I was like, all right, I'm just gonna have like 90-second rounds. I was like, all right. Then I was like, all right, I'm just write like 90s, get this money, get out of here. Fuck it, just take me an L today.
Mhm.
Then that motherfucking 30 kicked in. Ah, I remember I had like a minute and 30 seconds when I got on a plane. Like I had wrote like a minute 30 seconds, and I was like, I told her big mother, I was like, I'm high as hell. Well, Adderall don't really get you high, but I'm geeked up kind of like I'm like, I'm going. I'm about to do it. Watch, I'm about to do it. She like, for real, you gonna go? I'm like, hell yeah. I got on the plane and I told the white lady sitting next to me, I said, listen, I'm not crazy. So this is the flyer. I'm on my way to a rap battle, and I'm severely underprepared. I said, so I don't want you to think I'm over here talking to myself, being crazy. I'm not about to blow this plane up. There's nothing wrong with me, cause I'm. Oh, keep in mind for 6 hours I'm next to her. You get what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? So I had to give her a disclaimer. So she's like, oh, okay, okay. She's like, okay. So when I start like getting into my shit, she's like, oh, okay, I see why you warned me. She was like, this definitely would have threw me the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Like, she like, this definitely would have threw me off, Slim. Yeah. She like, this definitely would have threw me off. So I'm like, I was like, yeah, you see, like if I just would have started doing this out of nowhere, you would have hit the motherfucking button on the nigga, Slim. So long
Yo.
story short, the Adderall is in full effect. The Adderall is kicked in. I am an Adderall at this point. Like I just feel like I've embodied the Adderall, and this is bar. I'm writing the, I'm writing the bars like I'm writing, like I'm texting somebody. Like them shits is just, I'm just writing them. Like I am just writing them and I'm talking straight though. Like no, listen, no concepts. I may have wrote down a couple concepts that I didn't work out at the moment. No concepts, no, like normally this is how I do it. I'll have a whole list of concepts.
Mhm.
And then I just start plucking off the list with my bars. This shit ain't getting no, I'm writing that shit as I think of it. Oh yeah, Voodoo. I'm thinking like Voodoo KCJ, yeah, boom, iPhone cracked on screen. Like I'm writing this shit as it's like I'm in a flow state. This might be the craziest flow. I did that for Swag Tanner too, but him was only 1 round.
Mhm.
I was in a flow state, and I got off when the wheels hit the ground. My neck was like this. Pause. There's no diddy of knee, but cause I'm looking down at my phone the whole time. When the wheels hit the ground, it's like time just like it's like I teleported there. So I remember when I like the wheels hit the ground. I lift my head up, and I'm like like I lift my head up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like shit,
Damn.
and you know what I'm saying? Like I cracked my neck or whatever. And I remember she was like, "Did you get done?" Like the white lady next to me, she like, did you get there? And I'm like, and I look at her and I'm like, yeah, I did, I'm done. And I would never forget. It was so weird because I had never like it's been a really long time since I arrived to a city with like I'm not able to go out. I'm very rarely ever able to go out, have fun the night before the battle. It never happens. Never ever. I'm always writing. I'm always in my room. Everybody know that. Every battle rapper that ever has been out of town with me ever, they know. Like if anybody is like not locked in or something, they just come downstairs at 3, 4 in the morning and look around. You're gonna find me. Like I'm gonna be down. I'm gonna be downstairs walking around. Yeah, all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would say it's
Damn,
5.
son.
I would say 3 rounds to 5. I would say the fastest was about 7.5 minutes worth of material in about 5 hours. Five,
Mhm.
5.5. Whatever that flight to LA is from DC, about 5:45 or whatever. Whatever. But you know, half of that is takeoff and taxi, but
Yeah. I gotta ask you. I gotta add. That's crazy. I gotta ask you. There's a rumor going around that you and Jack battled for the last spot on the PGs. What
No,
is it?
that's not no, that's not what happened. It did it went so what happened was it was I mean something like that, but it wasn't the last part or nothing. So essentially kind of. What happened was not it wasn't like dude was battling for the last spot. What happened was this around the time Queensfoot was doing the quiet room.
Mm-hmm.
Queensfoot was doing the quiet room. And wow, this is crazy. Like I got my PG through Queensfoot.
Salute Cream Split. That's amazing.
Yeah, like I just think battle rap is so far gone. Like these space niggas probably don't even really like the new era that we in now. Like probably don't even really know about no quiet room battles and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh God, they don't. They don't.
yeah, man. So he came and he battled. He was like, yeah, the like best performers get the PG type. And I just remember him picking me and Jack. Like, nah, like I'm picking both of them. You know what I mean? I battled Danger Zone's brother, enough said.
Oh
Um,
wow.
I battled Danger Zone's brother, enough said. And that guy was really super crazy. I went to like personal, not no crazy personals, but I just kind of was displaying everything. I was probably that's it's one of the performances I'm most proud of to this day. Um, his, his dad. I found out his dad was on the pamphlet of uh Bowie State University. Found out his dad was. I found out his dad was on the pamphlet. It's no disrespect. It's no the dad, and I never disrespected his father, but I just usually kind of joke with it, clown with it. It's just like I went, I punched. I went a lot of different places. You know what I'm saying? To that point, that was like a really good performance for me. Probably being 10 years ago now, but it was a really good performance for me. Um, So yeah, and he ended up taking both, but the only catch was we had to battle each other. So that's how me and Jack ended up battling each other at the PGs.
Okay.
Because they was like
Let
we
me-
owe Queens, Flip this solid. Not owe him, but we was like, we giving him the chance to find talent. So like I would have to directly say like I mean, I can't say he found me like talent wise, but he
picked you, basically.
Queens Flip put me and Jack Boy Main on URL. That's who put me and Jack Boy Main on URL.
Real Queen Split. That's so fire. Did you? I do a lot of style observations and stuff like that. And correct me if I'm wrong. Did you invent the growling with the punch?
Um,
Is that you? I feel like you were the first that I heard really do
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. It gives me closure because I've been thinking that for a long time now.
It's yeah. I don't want to take any credit for myself either. So I'm gonna just say yeah.
Okay. Give me
I
your
don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to take all the credit, but I don't want to take any away from myself either. I do think the whole, you sound like this person, you sound like this person. It always just was really. I never really understood it because it's like I've always this is I've always rapped like this.
You always been you.
You know,
You always been
yeah,
yourself.
I can't say that certain characteristics didn't rub off on me or certain things like that. I would be a liar. I would be remiss to say that. That would be bullshit. But I also feel like we were cultivating and curating a new style for the culture that was ours. So you can't I feel like it was strange to say that I sound like the people that I'm curating this style with, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's us. We all and I feel like we all had much different components as well. Like I think it's really
Element from each other, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's all it was. I feel like it was strange to people. To this day, I would never understand that you sound like Jack. I don't feel like anybody in the world could sound like Jack. Like that's not even a thing to sound like Jack. Like who can do that? You know what I mean? Like and then like they were like, oh, you sound like Twerk and you sound like Jack. How can I sound like those two people that don't even they don't even sound
You don't sound alike. I agree.
nothing alike. So how do I sound like both? How do I sound like both? It was Yeah, it had me a little disgruntled, and that's the cause of like the new kind of Fonz style, I guess what it is. I know Rum Nitty pulled me to the side after the Justice battle and told me that like he saw that I was trying to create the separation without totally abandoning like what we created.
Mhm.
Like Turk is the most electrifying battle rapper ever. You know what I'm saying? Like when we talk to like electric moments and stuff like that, nobody has more moments. There's not one person that has more moments. It's not one person that has more moments than Twerk. It's just not.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that shadow's a big shadow, man.
yeah.
It's a big shadow, especially with me and him are the ones that like, they were like this. You know what I'm saying? Not saying everybody was like this, but I'm talking about in terms of style wise. We had
Agreed.
most similar style. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed, man. But I've always thought y'all all were different in your own way. But speaking of which, I know I got to get you out of here, but I can't let you go without asking you, what's your top 5 DMV battlers of all time? Take your time.
Top 5 DMV battles of all time. Is this with or without me?
That's your choice. I always leave it up to the person I ask. You can include yourself or you can not. Your choice.
So I would definitely be number one for sure.
Let's go. Talk crazy. Go ahead.
I would definitely be number one for sure. I never knew where the people felt about the Turk thing. So I will leave Turk out of the DMV list just for the sake of like a super home conversation. But I do it's kind of hard not to count Twerk on that. You know what I mean on that list. But just because he's physically from New Jersey, I will not put him on the list. But I'm kind of at the two. You know what I mean? That's tough. You know what I'm saying? But I would definitely put him on the list. Just hypothetically, hypothetically, Twerk is on the list though. But it's all good.
Okay. So Drugz number 1. Who the other 4?
Ace, I mean,
That's 2. Who the other 3?
crap.
That's 3. 2 left.
See, it happens.
That's 4. You got one more slot left, Drugs. Take your time.
Yeah.
You ain't say Swervo. You ain't say Cuban. You ain't say the PG Skillet. You ain't say there's a million people you ain't say.
So I love my brother Cuban. He knows that.